GMGAGE, everybody. Welcome to what's going to be another great Dev and Tell. So, if you didn't know, Dev and Tell is a 30-minute window for members of the DAO to showcase something they're passionate about or have been working on. This can be an awesome project you've been working on, demonstrating unit testing best practices, automation goodies, smart contracts, how to structure a project, etc. Basically, if you've got a passion for something, this is your opportunity to share it with the community. And today I'm happy to introduce to you Samuel and Karen, who will be demonstrating to us their project, HyperDapp. Take it away, gang.
Thank you, Narb. And hi, everyone. GM, GN. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all.
Happy to have you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us today. Thank you for joining. I'm sharing my screen. Just tell me if everyone can see my screen right now.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I think our presentation is going to be very focused on the actual demo of the actual product. But just before that, I just share a little bit of background of myself and Sam, and also a little bit overview of our project. So Sam and I, we are both two-time founders in Web3, and he is based in Europe right now, and I'm splitting my time between Asia and the US. And even though we live like literally a thousand miles apart, we have been working together since the beginning of 2021. We met at the Spring Hackathon. Chainlink Spring Hackathon in March last year, and together with two other co-founders, we built an NFT platform and launched it together. And it's a platform. It's called NFT Real. So it's a platform that combines art-focused NFT drops with a fully on-chain game. And so we built arguably one of the first products that use both Chainlink VRF and Keeper oracles. And we started building HyperDapp at the end of October last year. So we started brainstorming ideas and developing POC, and we did go through a pivot in our product design in at the end of January this year, and that's when we started building out what's the current protocol, the HyperDapp. And we came up out of stealth at the end of March when we took part in the virtual hackathon of East Denver, and we were pretty proud that we won several prizes at the hackathon, including a top prize in the infrastructure and the scalability track, and a top prize for IPFS Bounty. I think those awards are, to us personally, it's those prizes are just a validation that our mission and what we're building resonates with the Web3 developer community. I'll give the floor back to Sam.
Yeah, thank you for this intro, Karen. So everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So thank you for having us today, and thank you for joining. So I will present you what is HyperDapp. HyperDapp is the easiest and fastest way to build and deploy decentralized application, decentralized front ends for your dApps. So my name is Sam, co-founder and CTO at HyperDapp, and I will show you directly like how it works. So basically, this is our landing page of our dashboard, from where you can see all the previous dApps that you've deployed. And let's create a new one. So here I'm landing on a new code editor. So there is the code editor on the left side and the preview on the right side. So first of all, let's load an ABI in order to interact with. So the one that I'm usually taking for demoing is the simplest one, which is on Rigby testnet, the wrap if smart contract. So let's click and add and contract ABI. So here I'm just filling this info. The the contract address. Let's call this contract WETH, and let's take the ABI below. Boom, that's it. So now I can have access to this ABI. And, okay, 1 sec. Okay, so the ABI is loaded. So right now, what we want to do, basically in any dApp, what we want to do is interacting with this smart contract. So how can I do it? It's pretty simple. So let's first create and prompt. So here, as you can see, I can prompt a text, and let's prompt like something else, which is is WETH. Refresh. Okay, great, it's working. So now I would like to display two different inputs, one for wrapping ETH and one for unwrapping ETH. So for that, I can create a new row, and inside this row, I can create a new column, and then I will have my input that I will call ETH. So for sure, like all this syntax is well explained in our documentation, but I think that you can follow with me once I'm writing. So for the input, the first parameter is the type of the input, and the second one is the unique ID. So the first one, I will call it ETH, and a button in order to interact, in order to trigger the action once the user click on the wrap button. And here will be the trigger of the function. So let's leave it like this for now, and let's create another column for the wrap ETH. So it's also ETH type. I will give it the unique ID wrap ETH, and here it's going to be unwrap. Okay, so now I want to create those two custom function that the user will trigger once clicking on this button. So let's create those below. So I will call it wrap ETH. And for wrapping ETH, I want to first get the data that there is inside my input. And I will catch the value into this variable. And then I will call a function. And for calling a function, basically, I need to reference the smart contract by taking the name of the smart contract. Then I want to reference the name of the function. So the name of the function for wrapping ETH is deposit, which is a payable function. So because it's a payable function, I need to add the value, which is in Ether, and I'm taking this value from the input. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, I think that I'm good for the wrap ETH, and for the unwrapping ETH, it's gonna be the wrap ETH input. We will put that into this variable, and then I need to call the withdraw function, and from the withdraw function, I will add the wrap ETH, and here there is no value because it's not payable. So here I just need to reference those two functions. So for the wrap ETH, here, wrap ETH, and here, and wrap ETH. Okay, I think we are good. So let's refresh. Okay, I have an error. I think it's because of yeah, it's because of line. 1 second, sorry.
So as Sam debugs,
Yeah.
Karen, if you could confirm my understanding. So HyperDapp is all about basically having an easier means of creating front ends and being able to easily import contract ABIs without having to go um, do so with like the common JavaScript or whatnot. Is that correct? Or
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, so I think it's a browser. This is the code editor is the first key component of our entire protocol. What we have envisioned for the HyperDApp protocol covers a lot more components, but for this one, Nerv, I think you were pretty spot on that, right? First of all, this is a browser-based editor, so it's really lightweight, and there's no need for using a command line interface. And more importantly, we eliminate the need to import or to download or import any SDKs or library that are typically required for building Web3 connections for the front end of the apps.
gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah. And along with the demo, I think that you will better understand like what is our vision, like what is our long-term vision. So yeah, actually, like there was only like a comma that was missing, but here, so I have my two inputs, my two buttons, and if I want to wrap if, so it's triggering the write function, the deposit function. I can confirm, and yeah, so it's going through the blockchain. We'll get the success message in pretty soon. But so the next step of it is we want to have like this logic, because what we thought at the beginning before building HyperDapp was, okay, sorry, it was successful anyway. Was that okay? So we are all building in Web3. Why? Because it's decentralized, it's permissionless. So we have smart contracts for the backend. We have Etherscan for verifying smart contract, but there is nothing existing right now like to decentralize the logic for interacting with those smart contracts in the front end. And we also have nothing in order to verify this logic. Okay, so this is why we built this tool. So first of all, it's a low-code solution for sure. It helps builders to prototype, test, or even build a small interface for interacting with their smart contract. But the main selling point here is that you can publish this smart contract to a decentralized storage. So right now we are supporting IPFS, but for instance here I can deploy and also put a version of it, and that's it. It's deployed on decentralized storage, like only the code. For sure, it's not the old dApp, but the code is completely decentralized. And if I click on this, so any of my user that is visiting this URL will have access to this dApp that has just been built, okay? And if anyone wants to see or to verify the underlying business logic of this dApp, can also click on the source code and see like all the code that has been responsible of generating this dApp. So our long-term vision here, so, okay, I had to write a little bit of code. Anyone will have to look at the doc, but right now we are adding some features in order to make it easier. So let's refresh this page, and again, let's import this ABI. And I can also add a function call from the WIF smart contract. So here I have a dropdown because, as you can guess, you can load like multiple smart contracts in the same code editor. So here you can interact with any smart contract and any function of it. So let's take this one, and for instance, let's take the balance off function, and let's refresh, connect MetaMask, and boom. So I have the input that I need to refer in order to get the value. So let's take one of the order of the wrap if, just to make sure that it's working. Sorry, orders. Let's take this address, and boom. So I have this result. So it's in if, so it's not quite readable, but if you look at the doc, you can also here put if, output, refresh, that's it, 180 if, and it's exactly the same quantity, so it's working. And the same, like I can publish it, wrap if, and boom. So I have my dApp that is deployed. So here we are still working with the code editor. This is our MVP. We are planning on polishing it and having it as useful, as usable as possible. But our main goal is to have a no-code solution with a drag and drop flow editor from where you can define any user workflow and have your dApp ready to go and deploy to IPFS as well.
Wow, that's
Thank you for
awesome.
listening. And if you have any question, happy to hear.
Yeah, this is awesome, gang. I guess one question for me is it theoretically possible to create components, let's say, little modular components through this, and then import them in like a regular, a non-decentralized front end? So say I made like a button to do the withdraw or the deposit with the WETH contract, and I want to import that into my another app that I've created. Is that possible, or?
So what we have thought about
Yeah.
is having it more customizable, meaning that you will have an interface in order to give some like context variable in order to define your background, like your color buttons, etc. So we
Yeah,
have
but
thought about that.
Yeah, I will interrupt for a second. Sam, I think I think the question is, I think the embeddability actually solve that. Like when we publish the dApp and have that unique URL, that URL could be embedded on any platform through iframe.
Yeah,
If you just have you can show this step.
Ah, okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is exactly what I want.
So this is exactly this is Code Sandbox. So any dev, any Web2 dev could know this website. This is a simple HTML page, so I can embed this small and lightweight application into any website and have like all my Web3 logic abstracted. And also like all of my users can see like what is the source code of this dApp by clicking on the source code button. And also like if I want to interact with the blockchain, it's still triggering MetaMask even if I don't have MetaMask loaded on this web page. So, but regarding your question, if I understood correctly, it was more about customization. So right now we are not supporting like really deep customization, but we are planning on doing that. We have some ideas for doing that for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, this is awesome. Does anybody in the crowd have any questions for Sam or Karen?
I want to add a little bit. So when we say that we want to make the business logic underneath front end verifiable. I think let's just give example to further break it down to have more to make it more relatable. For instance, when an end user lands on interacts with the website to claim a airdrop token, for instance, when we click like the claim button on the website, we really don't know. As end user, we really don't know what functions are being called from that prompt. I think this is where the verification on the front end is really valuable, because with our tool, you could click on that view source code button and land on the viewer, the read-only viewer, to see really what that lead function in the smart contracts is being called for certain prompts.
Cool. And is it possible to hide that source code button, or is it always going to be visible?
So the goal is, I think, to have always it visible, but like we are still at the very beginning of this venture, and we are planning on building also along with the community. So I think that we'll listen to feedback.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like in our vision, I think that having this source code button is really valuable. But if the community thinks something else about that, so yeah, for sure we'll build features and this product along with the community, if the community receive it as valuable as we see it in the future.
100%.
Yeah. So I have a question for the audience. So who in the audience actually build front ends for dApps, or who are the full stack developer that build both back end and front ends for dApps?
Guilty. I'm sure there's quite a few in the crowd.
Yeah, also guilty.
Same. Or learning.
Actually, we had a very interesting conversation with Solidity Dev, and they think that this kind of tool can be really useful for them in order to quickly prototype a dApp, like a front end for interacting with their smart contract.
Yes. Yeah.
So that can be definitely a use case, but how we see it is more like having some Web 2 application that wants to integrate Web 3 logic, and like they can build it with HyperDapp directly without like having to hire like dev and having to learn like all this Web 3 logic. So I think that it can help on board like the next generation of users and Web 3 builders.
Yeah, certainly. I suppose there could be like different use cases. Maybe like an experienced Web3 developer might use it for prototyping, but the Web2 crowd who doesn't have that much experience in that area could utilize this no code solution. So more use cases, the better, right?
Yeah. So actually we are starting our alpha release tomorrow. So if
Nice.
you want to join, just be in contact with Karen. She's organizing everything for sending out all the links and the link to the doc as well. So we have a doc that is still in progress. So yeah, like we are starting the alpha release, and hopefully like you will build some stuff with that. Can't wait to see like what you're gonna build with it.
For sure. There's only 4 minutes left here, gang. Are there any questions for Sam and Karen? If not,
So
yeah.
this may sound a little bit ridiculous, because one use case I really want to see from our alpha users is that someone actually build a dApp that has like the calls a function that has some malicious intent.
Ah, I see.
Because that will show like if end users or other developers will be able to detect that in the code reviewer.
Ah, yes, and steer clear of that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. The
We may
HyperDapp.
have special prize for that
Oh, I see.
request.
Bounties and whatnot. Yes, excellent. So I suppose to close out, if nobody else has any questions, is there any way folks in the developer DAO can help you to continue building this out, or is there any open roles that you're looking to fill?
Asked from the developer DAO community. One is that we would love to have users who can try out our product and build amazing dApps with our protocol, so that we can get feedback and iterate on our product. And then secondly, we are definitely on the lookout for contributors to our team. So both someone if someone is either interested in being a dev relations advocate, like dev advocate, or someone who is interested in contributing to further developing our product. I think we're totally open to hear from you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Would love to hear from you.
Cool. This is awesome, gang. Thank you so much for coming on and demoing HyperDapp. I'm sure a lot of builders here will be using it as the alpha starts to roll out tomorrow, as you said. And if people are interested in joining the alpha release, how do they do that again? Sorry.
They can just add me, send me a friend request and DM me.
Cool. Excellent. Maybe you wanna write that down in the developer voice text if people wanna do that as a follow up.
Yeah, and our website is hyperdapp.dev.
Excellent. Yes. You should probably drop that in the voice text as well for people's reference.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Good. Great.
Awesome. All right, gang. With that, we are at time. So thank you again, Sam and Karen, for coming on and presenting at DevIntel. It was a pleasure to have both of you on, and like I said, we're all looking forward to seeing HyperDapp grow. So with that, I want to wish everybody a very happy Friday, weekend, wherever you may be. And I will be dropping a link for the developer or the DevIntel POAPs in the developer voice text. And Sam and Karen, I will send you your speaker POAPs through DM.